that we could have a death penalty, so to speak, hanging over, a curse hanging over us. So anyway, and we'll get in that later on. Then there is, let's see, what's that? No fuel to be gathered for fire. Then another instruction was that there's no buying or selling was to occur on the Sabbath day. No buying or selling. Well, dear Lord, we've wrecked that one for sure this day and time. Nehemiah 13, 15 to 21, this is where we're going to tag it out at. In those days I saw people in Judah treading wine presses on the Sabbath and bringing in sheaves and loading donkeys with wine, grapes, figs, and all kinds of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I warned them about the day on which they were selling provisions. Men of Tyre dwelt there also, who brought in fish and all kinds of goods and sold them on the Sabbath to the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said to them, what evil thing is this that you do, by which you profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers do thus, and did not our God bring all this disaster on us and on this city? Yet you bring added wrath on Israel by profaning the Sabbath. So it was at the gates of Jerusalem, as it began to be dark before the Sabbath, that I commanded the gates to be shut and charged that they must not be open till after the Sabbath. Now I'm telling you, Nehemiah was, you read the book of Nehemiah, this guy meant business. He didn't play. Then I posted some of my servants at the gates, so that no burdens will be brought in on the Sabbath day. Now the merchants and the sellers and all kinds of wares lodged outside Jerusalem once or twice. Then I warned them and said to them, why do you spend the night around the wall? If you do again, I will lay hands on you. And it wasn't to pray for them. I will lay hands on you. And from that time on, they came no more on the Sabbath. Nehemiah did not play. He cut him no slack. But when he says, why do you spend the night around the wall? What does that remind you of? It ain't on Sabbath day. It reminds me of Black Friday. People camp out.
That's right.
I mean, and listen, this thing had become a disaster in a number of places. People would be killed because of this insanity that people think I got to get there at 2 o'clock in the morning and camp out till they open doors at 6. You know, and some set up tents and all this ridiculous. Well, that's kind of what these guys were doing, but it's on the Sabbath they were doing it. And so when Nehemiah put the brakes on about the Sabbath, they decided, well, there's another way I'm going to beat the system. He won't let us do that, so we're going to start camping out around the wall. Well, he got them about that too. He says, I catch you doing this again, I'm going to lay hands on you. You know, and like I said, it wasn't to pray for them. And so from that time on, they took him seriously and said they did not know, they didn't do that anymore. They didn't camp out around that wall, spend the night around that wall anymore on the Sabbath. And so it was serious business back then. And it's serious business to God now, I believe. Now, maybe, again, the dispensation that we're in, maybe not so much as far as the punishments, but I do believe it speaks to society of our relationship with God, how we treat the Sabbath day, how we honor Sabbath day, and how that we make sure that we gather together with God's people on the Lord's day